Hit transition. There, you got it. All right. So today we are going to turn a picture frame. Do you guys see me?
We see your picture frame, but you're not focused.
Okay. For some reason, my screen is seeing other people. I'm not seeing me. Suzanne,
mine looks good.
let me see the mouse.
Oh, go ahead.
Can I? How do I make me as the presenter? Oh, it's not working. All right, well, so what we're doing is this picture frame. Tell me, somebody tell me when I'm in focus here. Is that in focus?
Mine looks good.
No, it's still blurry.
Well, yeah, it looks good on my end.
That's a little better. That's pretty good there.
I always have sawdust in my glasses, so everything looks blurry usually.
Yeah, I might have dust or a fingerprint on the camera lens. So this is one I started turning the other day when we did a little test demo of my software here, and I finished it today and put some glass in it. So what I need to do is make a way to hold the glass in. And I don't know if we're going to get around to that in today's demo or not. But what I typically do is I'll drill like 3 little holes off to the sides and just take my thumb and push like a little brad, a little finishing nail or something into that hole just to hold the glass in place. Another thing you would do before you turn your picture frame is you want to cut your glass first. That way you can turn your frame to fit the glass. When you cut the glass, or at least when I cut it, I always have little irregularities that are sticking out, and it doesn't fit into the opening always. And once you cut that circle, you can't go back and make it smaller. So I would suggest cutting your glass first. Today we're going to do it last because I've already got a piece cut, and I want to get through the whole frame today. And if we have time at the end, then I'll mess around with cutting glass if we have time.
Do you have a trample that you cut the glass with, Tim?
What I cut the glass with is a glass cutter. You guys see this? So it's a glass cutter on a swivel, got a suction cup, and the cutter head swivels.
Okay, very
nice. This is a cheap one I picked up like 12 years ago. And the suction cup doesn't stick very well, so I have to be careful it doesn't move on me while I'm using it. But it's better than trying to do it freehand.
Yeah, like I say, you try to do it around a pattern, it's really tough.
So here's a piece of glass that I'm going to use for today's picture frame. I actually cut that one for this picture frame, and you can see it just doesn't fit. And once you realize that, and you can't put this back on the lathe just perfectly to make the rebate bigger, and you can't really cut a 32nd of an inch off of the glass. So I had to cut another one smaller. But that's why you always want to cut your glass first if you can. For the glass, I'm just using some, I don't know if you guys can see this glass on the camera. Yeah, you can probably see that. So this is glass that came out of an old picture frame. It's full of dirt right now, it needs cleaned. But this came out of an old picture frame. Everybody's got old pictures and stuff laying around. It's single strength glass, which is approximately a 1/16 of an inch thick. And you could probably find some old picture frames at Goodwill or something and throw the frame away and keep the glass, which is what I did. For the blank, I've got some hard maple, and I cut these blanks out of the log with a chainsaw. The date on here is April of '09, so this is 11 years old. And Yeah, doesn't have to be anything perfect. You can see all the chainsaw marks on this. So that's what we're using today. I've got one already cut round. And actually this one I had some time ago ran it through the planer. But it's the same wood. It's just that it's chewed up already. Here's one that's very irregular, and I think I'm actually going to turn this one today. It's not very flat, as you can see there, but it'll be all right. The way I'm going to mount it is I'm going to use the woodworm on the chuck. Last month I had the 1-inch adapter on this big lathe and with the smaller chuck. I got a lot of vibration. So this month I just went straight with the big chuck, and hopefully that vibration will be gone. I did drill my hole for the woodworm the whole way through the blank. That'll help me when I'm removing material to know where this is, where the woodworm is, so I don't hit it with my chisel. And what we're going to do right now is just go ahead and screw that on. I want to screw this on pretty much as far as I can get it, because I don't want it to move once I start turning. Right there, looks pretty good.
Hey, Tim,
Yes, sir.
the back side of that isn't real flat, so you're only going to have like 3 points of contact against the face of the chuck, aren't you?
Yeah, I put the concave side against the chuck so that it won't rock. If I'd have put this other side against the chuck, it would have rocked a little bit on me. But yeah, no, it's not going to go anywhere. There's a point of contact. There's contact there. That's not going to go anywhere. That's the nice thing about the woodworm chuck. You can usually screw them on real tight, and it holds it pretty well. So let's see if I can zoom out a little bit. All right. Okay.
Tim, can you
Yes,
turn
sir.
off? Can you turn off your video video, the little square picture?
Yes, we can turn that off.
If you're not using that specifically, it sort of gets in the way of seeing what you're doing.
He wants to turn off. We were asked to turn off the picture-in-picture.
Does anybody else
Slide that up.
have a problem with that?
No, not yeah. Well, you know, you got to do this screen here.
Transition?
That'll transition over to that screen.
Yeah, we don't want that.
You want to pick on the small box. Yeah, move it up. There you go. Just remember where you put it. Move this one back slide that whole box over. So it lines up. There you go. Then transition. Okay. So bear with us while we, Suzanne was just introduced to the software like 5 minutes ago. What's that? Yeah, we were just asked to, only when if you see that it's useful to slide it back in. Yeah. So you guys see that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks good.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the space. This is actually going to be the back of the picture frame. So we're going to clean that up first. Grab my face shield here. Hat off, face shield on. Okay. Make sure I'm not hitting anything. All right.
Tim's microphone got muted.
Yeah, and while you're at it, there's a way, if you've got the host site, that you ought to be able to anchor your screen so that it doesn't go away when someone speaks.
Yeah, I tried to figure that out a bit ago, and I know I've done it before, but today it's not working for. I can't figure it out.
So what I did was I reached up and if you click on the little blue square in the top of your image, you can say pin video, and that will let you pin his video.
Oh, we each do
All
that.
right, so you guys should just see me now.
Yeah.
Spotlight video. Okay, now you should see me. All right.
Yeah, and your little water stamp there that says Tim's Turnery down in the bottom.
Yeah, you like that?
I'm thinking you're gradually getting yourself into being able to do remote demos for lots of people. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So once I've gotten rid of that really rough surface, now a push cut is not going to bounce me all over the place. And I can come in and clean this up a little bit better. Okay, hopefully that's nice and flat. Looking pretty good. Next thing I'm going to do is clean up the outside edge. You always want to get rid of your waste areas first so you know what you've got left to work with. So we're going to clean up that outside edge. And then we know where our outside is going to be. Come on. Oh, my lathe doesn't want to turn on now. That would be perfect if my lathe stops working today. Uh-oh. Yeah, the lathe,
Time to look for the circuit breaker.
yeah, sometimes I gotta unplug it and let it sit for a minute and then plug it back in. You guys get to see me climbing around my shop.
Don't try this at home.
Sometimes the controller on it thinks that it's over torqued or something, and it just won't start. Let's see if that'll do it. Uh-oh. I think my lathe just went out, guys. Turning on and off there. Maybe just my switch went out.
I heard a loud humming noise.
Well, it's always got a humming noise. Ah, geez. I mean, I could switch over to the mini lathe, but it would take me a minute to get the cameras all set up.
Are you sure you didn't trip your circuit breaker?
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know why it would have tripped the circuit breaker. Yeah, the circuit breaker looks good.
Tim, do you hear a hum when you turn on the power initially?
No.
You're not hearing the converter come on at all?
No, when I hit the on button, I hear a click, so something in the converter clicks on. And when I hit turn off the off button, something in the converter clicks off. But I'm not getting any humming at all.
Did you have the lathe turned off when you pulled and reset the power?
Now let's try that again.
Make sure the lathe is off position and then
Yeah, I
reset.
just hit the off. I'm going to go kill the breaker. That's a little easier than climbing up to my ceiling.
Give it about 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah, sometimes it does this. Let's hope that's all it is. And we'll be back up and running. If not, I'll have to drag the mini lathe over here where the cameras are and see if I can't do it with the mini lathe. I'll have to do a smaller picture frame, but I think we can salvage it. So,
All equipment failure.
yeah, well, you know, if it's going to happen, like last month, my grinder died 30 minutes before the meeting. This month, my lathe seems to want to quit.
You've had enough time to repower.
All right, guys, everybody cross your fingers. Power on. Hey,
Yes.
woohoo! We're up and running again. All right. Everybody see my, yeah, everybody see it okay and hear me okay?
Yeah, you're fine.
So,
You want me to turn?
you might want to switch to the top view. Yeah.
Oh, top?
Yeah, the overhead. You'll be able to see this cut. Is that where you're at? Okay. You guys can't hardly see what I'm doing, can you? There we go. All right, that feels good. Let's see how it looks. All right, that's pretty good, except I've got a little bit of the raw edge of the wood here I've got to get rid of. This is the face, and the let me step back a little bit. So I don't know if this will make sense to you guys or not, but this is the profile I'm kind of going for. So this is going to be the front of the picture frame. This is the back. We're going to have a rebate here for the glass and the picture to go into. And this is going to be a dovetail that's cut in. And the purpose of the dovetail is you can put a nail on your wall that it'll hang on that nail. So the face of the picture frame, the front, my furthest out point is clear out here at this outer edge. So I have to get rid of this imperfection here because that's got to be my my outer part. And then back here, I'm going to undercut this. This side will go away. But we got to take off more wood.
While you're paused there, Tim, could I get you to refocus a little bit? Your focal plane, this isn't even close to your tool.
That's interesting. So right there should be, come on.
That's getting better.
I mean, that's as good as it's going to get.
That's a lot better.
Okay. I'm looking at a little screen that's about 3 inches wide, so it looks really good to me. Come on, ladies. There we go. All right. A little bit not going to worry about that just yet. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the face of the blank here so that I know what I've got to work with in that direction. And I'm just going to come in with my old gals. White. I just want to remove enough to know that I've got a clean surface to work with. I'll get rid of the rest of that when I flip it over. I still have a little imperfection right here. I don't think you can see that on the camera. Right there.
Yep. Yes.
So I need to get rid of a little bit more. All right, that's it. So that's all I need to do, just truing up wise. Next I can start actually shaping things. I'm going to swing back around to the face again. And,
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Do you think you're going like 400 RPM, something like that, or
Oh,
just guessing? You know.
yeah, that's probably 400 or 500 right there.
Uh-huh.
Not real fast.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go ahead, since I put that hole in there the whole way through, I can see where the metal is, where the woodworm is. Did I bump something? Okay. So I'm not worried about hitting it with my chisel. I'm going to just pull back off right now. All this middle part comes out eventually. So I can just get rid of a bunch of that right now. Next thing I need to do is make sure the back of my picture frame is straight across. Get a longer straight edge. And it looks like I'm a little high in the middle, a little low on the outer edge right now. If you can pick that up in the camera. Maybe look straight down at it. You guys can see that or not. Yeah, I have a gap out here yet. So I'm going to move a little bit more here from the middle. Check it again. Still a little high inside. It really wouldn't matter if I remove too much inside, as long as the outer, I mean, it's the outer rim that would sit against the wall. So I could actually remove a little bit more from the middle. Wouldn't hurt anything. I don't have a very thick piece of wood here to work with, so I don't want to remove too much. All right, there's still little ins and outs there. I'm going to grab my, I call it a sanding beam, if I can find it. There it is. It's just a big long sanding block. I got two different grits of sandpaper on it. And I use that to flatten up the surfaces of things. Let's see if we can get the camera moved up a little. There we go. Now I probably need to refocus again. Does it look good? All right. So I just can hold that against it while it's turning. I'm going to kick on my dust clutcher for a second. Let's screw it up. All right. Now that is perfectly straight across the back. That's a good way anytime you need a face of something to be perfectly flat, that sanding beam will do it. All right. Go back to a little diagram here. You guys can see that. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to undercut and take out that back part right here. Shape the back of that. The next thing I'll probably do is I'll cut the rebate where the picture and the glass is. But if I cut this, if I undercut the back of the frame first, then it kind of gives me an idea what material is left. All right. Nice clean cut. My glass is, I got some calipers here somewhere. My glass is somewhere right around 6 inches. I remember that. It's a little bit bigger than 6 inches. Just about out of caliper there. Yeah. I can't get these big enough to get over the glass. So let's just use a ruler instead. I'm going to go get a pencil with a point on it. There we go. I'm going to say about right here and here. Okay, I undercut. Maybe I should have did that first because I undercut more than I should have. And I didn't leave myself much room for that dovetail. But we'll make it work. A little bit bigger than 6. I'm going to go ahead and hold that piece of glass up against it. Make sure that's going to fit in there. A little snug. So I'll probably have to go just a little bit bigger than that. All right. I'm going to just use my skew, so a 1-inch skew. And I'm going to do a pulling cut with the skew. And I'm actually going to be cutting not with the edge of the skew that you would normally cut with, but with the bevel of the skew. All right. Hold up that piece of glass. See how that looks. That looks like it's going to work. Just drop right in there. All right. Getting rid of those fudgy little whiskers there. All right. The next thing we'll do is I'm going to define where my shoulder is going to be for the glass. Let's do that same cut again. Clean that up a little bit. So I'm cutting this shoulder. Really going to be impossible to see this on the camera because I can't even see it here. But I'm cutting a little bit deeper over here against the wall than I am right here. This is what's going to be the opening eventually. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to make sure that the picture and the glass are tight against the wood right here. And if I overcompensate by cutting a little bit deeper over here, then I know it's going to be tight right there at the rim. So instead of, if I made a perfectly flat cut, then it might not hold it tight against the wood. Let's go a little bit deeper. There we go. I like to take the sharpness off of these corners just a little bit. Okay. All right, so that's the opening that you're going to see from the other side. This is the shoulder here where the picture is going to be. Now I've got to cut a little dovetail in here so you can hang it on a tack on the wall. And to do that, I have a really small, about a 1/16 of an inch wide parting tool that I'm going to plunge, just do a plunge cut first. I'm going to angle it so I can make my dovetail. Make the bottom of that all the same. Go a little bit deeper. You gotta want to just take the sharp corner off. What do you think? All right.
Tab,
Yes, sir.
are you leaving enough depth to put in a mat board around your picture?
Yeah, there should be. I went about a 1/4 inch deep. Yeah, if you wanted a mat, I mean, the picture. Yeah, if you're going to put a mat in, then you want to go deep enough to make sure you can get the glass and the mat in there, and a fastener to hold it all in place.
Right.
So
Yeah,
when I
'cause-
talked about fasteners before, like I said, I just take a drill bit and I drill a hole in the side. Can you guys see this little nail I'm holding up?
yes.
I take a drill bit and just drill a little hole at an angle, and I use a much smaller nail, not one this big. And I drill the hole just the same size as the nail, so I can just take my finger and push it into the hole. I don't want to risk chipping or cracking the glass or anything, so you don't want it tight up against. You want it against the glass, but not to where it's going to crack the glass. And I'll just hold it in. I'll put 3 of those around. What I wanted to show you now is the dovetail. The purpose of the dovetail is when you put this tack in the wall at an angle, then you can just stick the picture frame over a tack like that, and it's going to hang on the wall. And it shouldn't fall off.
So picture hanging hook go in
A
there.
picture hanging hook might be too big and bulky for this.
Oh,
Just really a tack is going to be,
Oh,
you would have to make a much wider, bigger groove if you wanted some other kind of hanger in there. This, with just a tack in the wall and this dovetail, this picture frame is going to lay flat against the wall. It's not going to be hanging out a little bit at the top or anything. So I'm pretty much done with the back of this right now, guys. I might take some light sandpaper and just hit this up just to get all these sharp edges off of it. And I think this is a piece of that's 150, that's 2/4. Forgot about my sandpaper. Yeah, that's good. This is I'm going to get just a little bit of 320 here, and I'm just going to hit that very lightly just to get all the sharp edges off. And the back of that a little bit. And you gotta love a nice piece of hard maple. All right. So I think I'm done with the back. One problem is I won't be able to get this onto a jam chuck unless I remove a little bit more of this material in the middle. I see my woodworm is right there, so I can't remove too much. I've got to remove this middle part lower than the shoulder. so that I can put it on a jam chuck. So that little bit that I left there in the middle, I will just hollow out my jam chuck a little bit so that I can drop down in there. Looks like everything's lower than the shoulder. That's good. Everything but that bit in the middle. All right. Let's take this off the chuck. Take the chuck off the leg. Went to set that chuck down, and every place I went to set it, I had a piece of glass laying. Didn't think that was a good idea. Okay, what I'm going to do next is make a jam chuck. Here's one I made earlier. I think it's going to be too small for this. Indeed it is. But I think what I'll do is I'll just use that same one, I'll just make it smaller, or make it, I'll remove a layer and make a new shoulder on it. Let's see here. I know that is just a little bit bigger than the one I've got, so I'm going to mark it here so I don't lose my place. I'm going to go and remove that old shoulder off of there. Kind of easier to get rid of the bit in the middle with the full cut. Right. I also like the surface of these to be a little concave. Yep. So that it's just this outer part that is making contact with anything, if it makes contact at all. The real contact point is going to be back here on the shoulder, not out here on the face. All right, let's see. I think I'll just use a skew laid flat like a scraper. I'm going to do a test fit. Oh, don't need to. I like to sneak up on it instead of trying to get right on. That way I have a better chance of. And also, as I'm cutting this, I'm tapering it back as it gets wider as it goes back. And that'll let me, if I do go a little bit small, then I'll see actually where it's hitting. All right, so that's hitting right in about the middle, and it's not going to go on any further. So I need to remove just a little more material back here in the back. Hopefully that wasn't too much. That's a good snug fit, but it's not going on the whole way. So Oh, the reason it's not going on the whole way is that I cut my rebate here deeper than I did on the picture frame. Remember, I want my contact point back here, not out here. So I'm going to remove it off the face of this. Seems to have a nice firm grip. All right. Now I'm ready to do the face. And again, the first thing I need to do is just clean it up. I'm going to do a pulling cut here instead of a quick cut. It's just not as aggressive. I mean, it can be aggressive. If you're pushing into something and you dig a little too deep, it tends to just dig deeper. And if you're pulling a little deep, deeper. Since this is a jam chuck, I don't want to risk having any kind of grabs or catches. I still have a chainsaw mark here I got to get rid of. All right, that looks good. I like it. So now I can, I know I'm going to taper down as I go in, so I can go ahead and start removing some of that material. Don't get rid of too much. I need to know exactly where that opening is before I know what this shape out here looks like. So I'm not going to get rid of too much. I just wanted to clean up some of that excess material. Now I'm going to go ahead and start hollowing out the middle. switch chisels. Go back to this view laid flat like a scraper. I'm just going to do sponge cuts from this point. I'm not going to push the whole way through because I don't want to splinter off the wood on the back side. So I'll get almost there, and then I'll come in with the bevel of the chisel. And I'll clean that up. One step. Let's take a stop here and see what. Yeah, I'm not to my shoulder yet. That was a little bit exciting. Not a lot, but a little bit. Gives me a good opportunity to see how much further I have to go. About a ½ inch. Got loose on me. I hate when that happens. Yeah, it was a nice snug fit, now it's a loose fit. Well, that's just the way it goes sometimes.
Grab a piece of newspaper and throw in there.
Yeah, I'll have to jam something in there. I often just use a little bit of masking tape. Come on, there it is. I'm just going to put a little piece of masking tape on this side and another little piece kind of opposite that on the other side. That out of there. I only want it on that tendon, not on the shoulder. All right.
Need 3 pieces.
My frame warped a little bit too. That's interesting. All right, we're going to give this a go. As you can see, when that came off, it didn't have much of a impact to it. So I'm not worried about getting hurt or anything. The worst thing that's going to happen is I can put a dent in it. I'm getting a pretty good idea of where I am now. I have a lot of, ouch, I have a lot of thickness here. And I'm going to take my, I just got a splinter up under my finger now. I'm going to remove some more wood with the bowl gouge. Do my sponge cuts on these teeth. Okay. Back to you. Another chisel will work pretty good for that same task. I've got a square scraper that I've ground on the side as well as on the end. And that will let me do the same pulling cut maybe a little more effectively than that skew did. I can go sponge cut. And I can get a skew cut. Looks like I got about a quarter inch to go yet. Almost there. There we go. All right. So now I've got a nice clean opening the whole way through. That's my window into my photograph. I got a splinter up under my fingernail. Not much of one. It's bleeding. Okay.
Kind of a hey y'all watch this moment.
Yeah.
I'd help,
Redneck, little
I'd help
redneck
you here,
amusement.
but
No, it's good. So that's my opening. Here's my outer rim. There's my inner opening. And now I need to shape this. And go back. Which camera are we on? Yeah, okay. How's that look? Do you see that pretty good? So, again, the pencil without a point on it. Okay. I've got lots of pencils. So I'm going to round over the outer rim and make a nice little bead here with a groove. And I'm going to have a little curve bumping up here, and it's going to come down, flatten out toward the bottom, and I'm going to have a bead right next to the opening. So the first thing I'll probably do is cut that groove in on here, and then round this outer part over. And when I get that to a shape I think I like, then I'll start working down towards this other bead. And I've got about almost 3/8 of an inch depth inside, but I want to end up with maybe a little more than 1/8. That would give me enough room to come back down on the other side of that bead. So let's do that. And I think I'll do that with a smaller 1/2 inch skew. It's got a pointier point on it than my big skew. And again, I'm just going to lay it flat and use it like a scraper and cut this V groove. Okay, and I'm going to continue with the same tool in the same position and just scrape this bead with the skew. The skew, by its very nature, when it's laid on its side like this, gives you a nice negative rake. And you can take these really little fine wispy shavings off. Pretty handy for turning beads. Okay, I'm going to swing my tool rest around because I need to round the back corner of this. You probably won't get to see that on the camera very well. That's the back side. Bring up the front a little bit more. All right, that shape looks pretty good. So it's back around. Just a little corner here I want to get off. Hard to see in the lighting I've got. I usually have brighter lights on, but they tend to wash it out on the, they wash out the picture on the camera. I can't turn on the lights I'm used to having. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now I want to, this next bead is going to be down lower than the first bead, so I'm going to remove. Did it again, got too aggressive. Tend to forget myself sometimes. Get a little carried away. All right, so we're going to do two more pieces of masking tape on the other two quadrants here. I always have masking tape really close to me when I'm at the lathe. Just a handy thing to have. All right. So if anybody's learned anything, hopefully they've learned how to use masking tape or a piece of paper or anything to make your jam check a little tighter. All right. I'm going to go back to my skew and cut this groove a little deeper, I think. Got to reshape this bead on the outside a little bit. I'm going to shape this bead on the inside. Okay. Go back to the bowl gouge and remove some more of this material. Trying not to get too aggressive now. I think maybe I learned my lesson on that. All right. Shape this bead a little bit more here. It's not really a bead, it's kind of like a half a bead. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I might need to take some more material out of this part, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on this bead here, and that'll tell me how much more material I need to take off of this surface. Right, so I want to make a little deeper groove here. I want that bead to be a little more pronounced than it was. All right. Oh, I got some tear out on the grid on that bead from that my last cut I made with, not the very last cut, but the cut I made when I was removing material with the bowl gouge. A little aggressive, I guess. And I thought I'd gotten rid of all that, but I haven't. So let's get back in here. Shave off the top of that D. All right, now I think I got it all. This is the part that's going to be the closest to the photograph. You don't want to have any defects right there where people are going to see it. Well, you don't want any defects anywhere, but that's probably the most critical spot. All right, guys, I think we're just about ready to sand this. See, I got a little defect on this outer rim here that I didn't know was there. A couple of them. No. A better time than the present to fix it. Fortunately, everything's still running true after popping it on and off there a couple of times. It's still there. I thought I had all those out earlier, and I guess I didn't. Those are some of the marks from the bandsaw still on there.
Or they might be marks from the last time it went flying.
Oh, that could be. That could be. You got a point there, Mike.
I was going to say, at one point you may have had all that cleaned up.
Yeah, I might have. Fortunately, it looks like I can shave it. Changing profile is out of the lip a little bit. All right, I can live with that. So, I mean, that's pretty much that part of the demo. What time is it? Anybody got the time?
3:15.
Quarter after 3, okay. I just hate to, if you guys want me to, I'll sand through it, but I hate to just demonstrate sanding a whole bunch, but yeah, so anyways, let's pop this off here. So there's the picture frame, and I would sand that. The back's actually in pretty good shape. I sanded it earlier, but I'll have to sand around this outer rim and sand up all these surfaces, and probably have to hand sand that inner rim a little bit because I don't have enough. Unless I could go